President Biden is fighting for his life. And that is because we are now getting more and more polls and opinions from experts. They are saying that President Biden cannot win the upcoming election unless a major change happens. I'm going to address that major change today, why this is so important, and why Democrats believe President Biden is not going to win, which means we are about to see more Democrats come to the table and throw their hat into the ring, and they will campaign against him. So I'm going to address what's going on. Make sure you stick around for this entire video. Also, if you can spend just 2 seconds, go ahead and hit that like button, and let's begin. So why is President Biden fighting for his life? Well, he is not fighting for his life in a literal sense. It's figuratively, because we are now hearing from multiple Democrats, they are seriously concerned that President Biden might not have what it takes to lead us in a second term. Well, here's what's going on. According to many experts and multiple White House officials, the Biden administration understands if they do not get a bill in the next couple of months, there is a massive chance that President Biden will not win the next election. That bill, this is all about the government funding bill. I want to explain what's going on here, because what we have been hearing over the past few months is that the United States government could potentially shut down, but every single time they get right up to the deadline and then they pass a bill. In this instance, this bill will go up until January 19th, and then they have to get a new bill passed. Here's why it's turning into a problem. President Biden is continuing to beg Congress to work together and pass a bipartisan bill. He even told people for Thanksgiving, he said that we need to stop the rancor. We need to just ensure that we can work together and pass a bill for the American people. Well, here's why this is a very big problem. Republicans know President Biden is pushing for this. Republicans understand that if Democrats do not get a new bill for fiscal year 2024, that the American people will put that responsibility on them. Because here's what's about to happen. If we do not see a government funding bill for the whole fiscal year 2024, that's fine, but we have to pass a continuing resolution or a CR. And a CR, or continuing resolution, is just a fancy way to say that funding will just continue as is. Here's the problem. This means no additional funding to the IRS. This means no additional funding to Ukraine and Israel, which are on President Biden's agenda. There's going to be no additional funding to SNAP benefits and WIC, which as of right now, according to many WIC advocates, they are saying that if WIC doesn't receive an additional $1 billion for the next year, they're going to have to start cutting off women and children from receiving this very important benefit. This also means the Social Security Administration will not receive any increase. And if they don't receive an increase, we're going to continue to face the lackluster customer support that we've been getting lately. Also, there'll be no additional funding for border security, which also means, and this puts into question, because I've talked about this the last 3 days, border security. Because what we are seeing right now is too many people, thousands of people every single day, are crossing into the United States illegally. They are making makeshift camps in the desert in California. We are seeing many illegal immigrants put up in hotels and office buildings right now just to keep them out of the cold. Well, here's what's happening. States and cities are now begging for the federal government to step up, provide more funding to the states and the cities so that they can have some funding to actually house these immigrants. Not only house, but feed and make sure they have proper health insurance. That is expensive. So here's why this is very important. Right now, the American people are dealing with a lot of struggles. Financially, physically, mentally, We're going through a lot of struggles, a lot of hardships right now. But do you see the federal government coming out and providing a stimulus check? No. Do you see the federal government coming out and saying that your health insurance is going to cost less this year? No. That's not happening because they can't do that. We don't have the money to do it. But illegal immigrants are actually starting to get some of this. Now, this is why it is turning into an issue. You see all the people out there looking for, not a handout, but looking for some help, some assistance. They're not getting it. So then they call on their representative from their state. Hey, we're struggling here. We could use some additional assistance. Maybe not a stimulus check, but we could use, some more benefits for like food. Help out the local food pantry. Help out the local homeless shelter. We need assistance. But yet, we don't get those. We don't get a response. Now, as President Biden pushes Congress and begs Congress to do something, Republicans know that Congress cannot do that on their own. They need bipartisan support because, again, the House of Representatives is controlled by the Republican Party. The Senate is controlled by the Democratic Party. And then we got President Biden, who's obviously in the Oval Office. So it's a divided Congress. There is no way we're going to get a bill passed if it's a partisan bill. Republicans know this, and so do Democrats. Here's the reason why many experts and many White House officials believe President Biden can't win. Because this is exactly what happened when former President Donald Trump was in office. Nancy Pelosi held up any bill that Republicans attempted to put on the floor. Guess what's happening now? Democrats have all these different plans and proposals that they're putting together, but when they pass them and send them over to the House of Representatives, the Republican Speaker, Mike Johnson, who was newly elected, he is not going to put these on the floor. He will not, because he understands what is at stake. And even though he's going to look like the bad guy, Republicans in some instances will look like the bad guys. In the end, according to reports and according to history, Republicans will win the next election. This could mean they hold the majority in the House. They might get the majority in the Senate back. And if they can get a Republican president and potentially former President Donald Trump back into the Oval Office, they would have full majority. They would have all the power to pass any bill that they want. So, I bring this to your attention because right now, experts are saying President Biden can't win unless he gets Republicans to jump in, pass a bipartisan bill on the government funding that could ensure a chance that he wins the next election. So, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on at this time. That is what we know. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on here and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.